Welcome to True Haunt Lore. There are places where the line between the living and the dead is not thin. It is torn open. Places where history does not sit quietly on shelves. It breathes, it moves, it watches. Tonight, we step into one of those places. Before we go any further, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to join the archive. Because once you're in, you won't look at the dark the same way again. We are heading deep into St. Francisville, Louisiana, into the suffocating heat of the Low Country, where the air clings to your skin and the silence feels alive. Hidden among ancient oak trees, draped in Spanish moss, stands a house that should not feel the way it does. The Myrtles Plantation. Built in 1796 by General David Bradford, the home was meant to be a sanctuary. But there is a detail that refuses to stay buried. The house was built on an ancient Tunica burial ground. From the beginning, something was wrong. By day, the plantation looks almost peaceful. White columns, a long wraparound porch, sunlight spilling across polished wood. But when night falls, that illusion breaks. Visitors describe a feeling that hits instantly, the sense that someone is watching you from just beyond the light. And then there is Chloe. Her story is the one that never leaves this house. In the early 1800s, Chloe was enslaved on the plantation, a house servant under Judge Clark Woodruff. She lived in constant fear of punishment, fear of being sent to the fields, a place many never survived. So she listened. She pressed her ear against doors, trying to hear what was being said about her, trying to stay one step ahead of her fate, until the day she was caught. The punishment was brutal, immediate, unforgettable. Her left ear was cut off, a permanent mark of disobedience. After that, Chloe wore a green turban, always to hide what had been taken from her. But fear turned into desperation. She needed to prove her worth, needed to secure her place inside the house. So she made a choice that would echo for centuries. She baked a cake, a birthday cake, for the Woodruff family's daughter. But inside the batter, she mixed crushed oleander leaves, a plant as deadly as it is beautiful. Her plan was not to kill, only to make them sick, so she could nurse them back to health, become necessary again. But she miscalculated. The poison was too strong. Sarah Woodruff and her two daughters died in agony within hours. The house filled with screams, then silence. What happened next was swift. The other enslaved workers, terrified of punishment, took Chloe. They dragged her outside, tied a rope around her neck, and hanged her from a tree. Her body was thrown into the Mississippi River, but Chloe never left. Guests have seen her standing in rooms, walking the halls, always wearing that green turban. Not a shadow, not a blur, but a solid figure, watching. In one photograph taken in 1992, a woman appears in the frame where no one stood. When the image was studied, the shape was clear. A figure with a head wrap, Chloe. And she is not alone. Inside the house hangs a massive mirror, original to the plantation. After the deaths of Sarah and her children, it was never covered. According to tradition, that was a mistake. To this day, handprints appear on the glass, small ones, like children pressing from the other side, not on the surface, but inside the mirror itself. No matter how many times it is cleaned, they come back. Then there is the staircase. In 1871, a man named William Winter was shot on the property. Mortally wounded, he staggered inside, trying to reach his wife upstairs. He made it to the 17th step and died. Visitors still hear it. Heavy footsteps entering the house, crossing the floor, climbing the stairs, 1, 2, 3, up to 17, then nothing, as if the moment is stuck, repeating forever. But the house does more than replay the past. People have reported beds shaking violently, hands grabbing their legs in the dark, doors opening slowly on their own, the sound of a piano playing when no one is there, a child's face seen in windows, staring out. This is not just memory. This is interaction. Even skeptics, even trained investigators have left the property shaken. Some refuse to return, not because of stories, but because of what they experienced firsthand. The Myrtles does not need you to believe in it. It simply waits. So if you ever find yourself standing in that house in the quiet, in the dark, and you feel something behind you, do not turn around too quickly, because you might not be alone. And if you see a woman watching with a green turban wrapped tight around her head, she might already be looking at you. If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe, and share your own documented encounters in the comments, because the archive is always growing. This is true haunt lore. Sleep well, if you can. So, after unpacking all the dark history we just went through, the tragic legends of Chloe, the poisoned birthday cake, and the trapped souls lurking inside that infamous antique mirror, you have to wonder, what is the atmosphere like at the Myrtles Plantation today? Well, my personal take on the Myrtles right now is that it is a masterclass in deception. Because if you travel down to St. Francisville, Louisiana today, expecting to find a creepy, decaying haunted mansion, you are going to be completely caught off guard. Instead, you are greeted by this almost cinematic pastoral beauty. We're talking grand, sweeping oak trees draped heavily in Spanish moss, a gorgeous wraparound porch, and breathtaking 19th century architecture. Today, the Myrtles operates as a highly successful bed and breakfast. It's actually a very romantic, peaceful getaway destination. You can book a beautifully furnished room, take a stroll through the lush gardens, and wake up to a classic Southern breakfast. Honestly, from my perspective, that contrast is exactly what makes the Myrtles so unnerving. During the day, it feels like a tranquil, picture-perfect retreat. But as soon as the sun goes down, that heavy Southern Gothic dread creeps right back in. It's a place where tourists casually sip sweet tea on the porch, secretly wondering if the footsteps they hear upstairs belong to a living guest or a lingering spirit. The Myrtles Plantation manages to blend stunning historic charm with pure, unadulterated, chilling legends. It's beautiful, but it never lets you forget its past.